I am excited to get out in the sunshine. We had some really hot weather over the weekend, and I'm telling you, about took me down. We hit into the 99s, I believe, Saturday and Sunday, and so it was pretty crazy. All right, hear my birds? Oh my goodness. I wish you could just even feel the air. It's so good. Yes, I'm walking down the middle of the street. I live in a cul-de-sac. So there's my house. But I live in a cul-de-sac, so I feel comfortable walking down the middle of the street. But I usually do, once I get through the circle part, I do move to the side, so you don't have to worry about me. Anyway, I was thinking this morning about Mother's Day, and I hope everybody had a wonderful day yesterday. I know I did. Um, but, I'm going to just tell you, one of the things I was thinking about today is, the moms that, for whatever reason, don't have family surrounding them on Mother's Day. I just kind of want to encourage them to take heart. Um, Mother's Day is really just one day out of the year that somebody decided, hey, this will be the day that we celebrate our moms, which I think is a great thing. Don't get me wrong. The Bible is actually full of celebrations um, that the Jewish people have celebrated and to this day continue to celebrate. All through the Old Testament, we hear of stories of celebration, things like that. So I think it's a great thing. But problem is with most of our Western ways, we end up just really, oh, goes one of our birds. We end up just really making a big deal out of something, not because of the holiday itself, but because there's an opportunity to make money. Oh, see my little guy there? He looks fat and happy. He is a well-fed bird. Oh, artwork. Gotta love little artwork. You see the kids enjoyed being outside yesterday with their sidewalk chalk. I know it's one thing that most dads are like, no, I hate the sidewalk chalk, but most moms are like, oh, it's so sweet. Let me take a picture, frame it forever. I'll have that memory. Anyway, sidetrack. As I sneak across the road so I don't disturb the dog that I don't like to hear bark. Anyway, back to marketing. Western world will take every holiday that we have and just really exploit it to make money. In fact, I was in the grocery store on Saturday picking up a few items, and one of the workers was busy putting up some tables. I think he had about 8 tables that were set up, and he's filling them with vases of fresh flowers. And I didn't stop to look at the price of them, but my thought was, my goodness, they are planning on selling a lot of flowers, and that was a grocery store. So for all those last minute people, they had options for Mother's Day if they're running the last minute to go pick up their Mother's Day gifts. And guys, there were tons and tons in the store. And then, of course, as I made my way later doing some errands, there was vendors all on the sides of the roads with fresh flowers or gift baskets. I mean, they were just everywhere. And I thought, well, if I was desperate to find a Mother's Day gift, I don't think I would have a hard time finding one. So, but anyway, my mind just was attached to the fact how much we have really tried our best to take these holidays that really were meant to be special and exploited them for the almighty dollar. And anyway, hope you guys are enjoying the scenery. It's beautiful. But anyway, I think Mother's Day really should have been really more about the relationship that the mom has with her children. But then, even at times, that can be very difficult for moms too. As I was sitting this morning reflecting on my day, I was looking up at some pictures of my grandchildren. They were just like a snapshot shot in time. In fact, they're probably old photos, by the way, of Easter's gone by. But I certainly found myself staring at the photographs. And one picture, one of my grandsons is holding up a golden egg. It has this expression on his face of like, I found the golden egg. And it makes me smile every time I see it because it's just such a precious moment. And then in another photo, two of my grandsons are standing by my front door. One's got the arm around the other. If I knew how to edit stuff, I probably would put it in here for you. I don't know. Maybe I'll figure it out. But had the arm around the other, and they're both grinning. And the thing about that photo is it's so cute. It's so precious. Love it. And it was just a moment in time where they looked like they loved each other and were happy. And it was just a precious moment in time. And however, on the outer side of those pictures, it wasn't always that way. My grandsons posed, or I captured, or somebody captured an amazing moment. Oop, almost lost my hat. Captured an amazing moment, but at the same time, I know that they're behind that one amazing moment. There's a lot of hard moments. Because if you've raised any children, you know and understand that sometimes to get kids to pose for a picture, you've had to take 20 to get the one still shot. Make sure everybody's eyes are open and everybody's smiling. And you're yelling, somebody's yelling behind the camera, smile, smile, open your eyes, put your fingers down, put your hands down. In fact, we had a little bit of that yesterday, trying to take some pictures at one point. My husband is famous for not doing a real smile or closing his eyes. Kids are famous for putting their fingers up with a peace sign. And but we're like, put your fingers down. And they're like, but I like my fingers up. No, put them down. We go through this whole moment to get this one, what we think might be a perfect shot in time. And that's the one that we end up posting on social media somewhere that shows our perfect Mother's Day. How ironic would it be instead if we just posted a picture of what the real picture looked like? Eyes closed, pouts, crying babies. Even kids not wanting to do it or fighting, whatever they're doing. What if we just posted those pictures? Because honestly, that's probably 90% of our lives, right? When you're raising children, the snapshot represents maybe 1%. I don't even know if it's 90%. It's probably 99%. Because it really is only, the snapshot might be like literally 1% of time raising our kids. It's just those perfect moments. So, good morning. But anyway, sorry, distraction. I squirreled there. Oh yeah, back to the pictures. If we would post instead what real life looked like, none of us would sit back and envy. Instead, what we would do, especially as older mothers, would sit back and say, oh, I remember those hard days. But nobody wants to see our hard days, right? We only want to see the perfect days. But in reality, what happens a lot of times when we only post our perfect days is that we have a lot of people behind the scenes looking at our photos and our stills, and they're saying, man, I wish my life was like that, or boy, they're so lucky, or why couldn't my kids love me that way? And then you have others that are like feeling blessed for the day, like they've had a wonderful day, and then they go back and look at others and they're like, man, they look like they had a lot of fun, and our time was filled with quiet or resentment or frustration, um, or missing those that don't live around us, or missing the ones that even though they live around us don't want to come around. So it's kind of a tough day, Mother's Day. I think there's a lot of hoopla. What's the word I'm looking for? It's just a lot of to do that people are expecting. Moms have an expectation, and sometimes the expectation just doesn't meet our reality. In fact, if I'm honest, most of the time, reality does not meet our expectation. So does that mean we change our expectations or our desires or our wants? Well, it's not so easy to do, is it? Especially if we're doing a constant comparison to what other people get to experience or what we think they get to experience. But anyway, some of my deep thoughts this morning. The one thing that I think we've always got to go back to, though, is the reality of realizing this is the life that the Lord has given me. And in this day, I will rejoice and I will be glad in it, regardless of what may come, regardless of who may not come, regardless of what my life looks like today. I'm going to hope for a better tomorrow. But while I'm into today, I'm just going to rejoice in what I have. I'm going to stand on the truth that I have. The Lord did give me a family. The Lord did give me somebody to love. And as moms, gave me some to raise, nurture. But even as an older woman, I can tell you, now that I have grandchildren, whom I love. I've got 11 grandchildren, and I'm telling you, I love every single one of them. And in my eyes, they are all just perfect. They're perfect. Not to say that they don't have things they need to work on, because a lot of them are still little. They need to learn self-control, as we've all had to do, and as some of us still need to do. Pointing the finger at me and myself. But anyway, just want to encourage the moms that may have been a little disappointed in the day yesterday. Don't be discouraged. It's one day. One day. Most likely you've had other days that you got to enjoy your children, or they showed a time when they thought about you, or they give you that call just out of the blue. Use that as your Mother's Day. Don't be stuck to what the world has said we should celebrate and how we should celebrate. A bunch of gifts, games, fun on one particular day. There's 365 days in a year. Why should one day have a high expectation that can ruin the rest of our month or year. If your kids celebrated you on a particular day and it wasn't Mother's Day, take that day as your Mother's Day and thank the Lord for your Mother's Day. Maybe your kids live in a different state. I have some in a different state. Just love them and know that on the day that you get together and get to actually physically hug and hold, that's your Mother's Day. So don't let it be confined to just one day. And kids, don't forget your mamas. Again, it doesn't have to be held to just Mother's Day. Love them and appreciate them. Every chance you get an opportunity to be with them, remind them how much they mean to you and let them know. Because your words, as your parents get older, your words that you say to them carry so much weight. Most moms walk in guilt. From the time they have that newborn, they're not sure how they're going to be able to raise them until the day they usher them out the door, either in marriage or college or even their own homes. There's guilt. Did I do enough? Can I do enough? Am I doing enough? There's always this thing, am I going to ruin my kids? But know this, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, God has a plan for each of your kids. Your plan may not look like their plan. And neither of your plans may look like God's plan. But I'll tell you what, God's plan will be greater. Just lean into that. All right. Okay, well, that's enough of my deep thoughts for the day. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day and God bless.